bring you up to date with this story. Electricity Minister Kgosientsho Ramokgopa has assured the nation that Eskom is on track to improve energy availability ahead of winter. Ramokgopa was giving an update earlier this afternoon on the implementation of the country's Energy Action Plan. Our senior reporter Aviwe Mtila followed that virtual briefing. He's joining us now in studio. Aviwe, good evening. So what can we expect this winter, power-wise?
Well, Braden, all suggestions are that the winter is going to be a bitterly cold one, given what we heard from the briefing. Remember that this Energy Action Plan was mentioned by President Cyril Ramaphosa back in July already, with a task team, in fact, that would look at the crisis itself. Now we're hearing that 3 units are out in Kusile. That, of course, dims the prosperity of the lights being back on in time. So we're expecting more stages of load shedding, given even that energy availability factor that stands at 56.3%. And the hope is that by December it will be at some 60%, but the standard norm, Bradan, across the globe over, it's supposed to be at some 85%. So there's still quite a bit of a margin to get to where at least we're at some reliable energy levels. But let's take a listen to the Minister of Electricity and what he had to say just around what we can expect this winter.
We know that we're entering the winter period. The expected increase will be anything from 32,000 megawatts to 37,000 megawatts. So we have to do something in the short term to ensure that we provide some degree of relief. What are we doing now to address, if you like, the winter situation? Just to lift a few, the first one is the work on improving the energy availability factor, if you like, the efficiency of the Eskom power station is continuous. And we think confident that we're going to begin to see these improvements. I mean, Becky and the team, supported by the Eskom board, had set a target of 60% EAF. Of course, that was undermined by the failure of those 3 units at Kusile. We continue to ensure that we undertake substantial maintenance. And we did that during the summer period. And we had seen temporarily some improvement in the 6 power stations. We really want to maintain that.
You know what, Aviwe, I know this has been mentioned before time and time again. Kusile is a new power station. Billions of rands have been spent and it's still not firing up energy for us. Gee, what a situation. Okay, so what are the plans for now? What did the minister say? Winter is coming up. Yes, it's going to be very cold. Let's brace ourselves for tough days ahead. But what are the plans?
The reality is that, Dan, most of what we heard today is what we've been hearing for a number of years now. You hear of renewable energy, solar, wind. You hear of battery storage that will help, of course, also add more power to the grid. You hear a number of interventions, even consumers being urged to buy renewables at home so that they can get some reprieve from, as we heard from the finance minister. But the reality is all of these plans have been in place. In fact, the urgency of it all, even dating back in the State of the Nation address back in 2019, where President mentioned the 9-point plan. Where is that? Instead, on that very year in December, we saw stage 6 for the first time, where the president had to come back from abroad to deal with that. But what was he dealing with exactly when we're still on those heightened stages of load shedding? But let's hear from the Minister of Electricity once more in terms of some of the plans on the ground to mitigate our energy woes.
One of the lessons that we have learned from the bid windows is the need for us to expand and strengthen grid capacity and to match, if you like, the location of this renewable energy project to areas that have got grid capacity, so that we are able to evacuate the electrons as and when they are available. So that's a lesson we have drawn from those bid windows, and we find that there's going to be an elegant exercise of matching of these projects with grid capacity. We're going out now. Proposals are due in response to the battery storage request for proposal. This should be early by 2023, which is likely going to give us a further 513 megawatts. So battery storage, very important in ensuring that the excess capacity that we generate from renewables gets to charge the batteries, give us storage capacity as and when we reach the peaks, when some of the solar PVs are not available. We draw the energy from battery storage, and in that way, we should be able to mitigate against load shedding. And then Eskom is finalizing contracting close to 400 megawatts of energy through the standard offer and emergency generating programs. And with the 100 megawatts already added to the grid from Kelvin Power Station in Joburg.